It's still ringing. What's up? We're back. I'm Ethan.
I'm Jill.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say welcome back to the pod.
I thought you were, and then I didn't want you to say the word pod, so I just kept inhaling.
Welcome back to the pod.
Cast. How was your week? How are you? Are you sick of the rain yet?
I just need like one moment of sun. Like, do we have to?
That's what I said. I need like just an hour break. Just melt me, and then you can wet me again. But like, fuck.
Do we need to have all our rain in the span of 4 days? Like, everyone's like, we need it. Okay, but do we need it all right now? Or do you think we could have like
this second
spreaded it out a little? Spread it out? No.
What did you?
It's just spread.
Okay, I heard an extra.
We could have spread it out. Spread it in.
Oh, you love it when I spread it out. We're going to start with our hards and what? Outside of the gym shit.
Yeah. The gym was annoying. Is annoying. People are annoying.
People do be sucking. Not in a fun way. I mean, they do in that.
Yeah. It was hard for me in the sense of like, if you need the brief recap, Ethan at our old gym, because we don't go there anymore, kept being told that his shirts were inappropriate, even though they were not inappropriate.
One like borderline, but I didn't wear that shirt ever again.
Yeah, he got told one time that his shirts were inappropriate, and then he didn't wear it back, and then 2 more times, because she brought up your "I'll eat your ass" shirt, but they didn't talk to you about that one, did they? I knew that was personal opinion.
No.
That confirmed it. Because the second she said, "Well, he wears another shirt," I said, "Oh, so you're tracking the shirts he wears?"
Yeah, but she didn't talk to me about that one.
Oh, I knew I was sussing out correctly that this was a personal
they're fucking racist
opinion.
fucking pieces of shit. Every single one of them. And I hope that they see this. I hope that they're worried about what gets said because you're all racist pieces of shit.
That's so funny.
To the letter. And I've been saying that shit for years. Fuck you and your whole family.
I was trying to suss it out appropriately, and I knew I was right. I just knew I was never going to get her to admit that I was right. Because she said, well, we've talked to him about his shirts before, and then he wears this other shirt. And I said, wait, is this your personal opinion? Like, do you personally have a problem with my part? I knew I was right.
Oh, yeah. No, they never talked to me about the other one. And I wear that one proudly.
She was tracking what you were doing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it's targeted. It's always targeted.
It was annoying for me. Like, it's obviously frustrating and unfair, and racism is alive and well. And if you don't think it is, then you don't exist around people that are not white enough. But it was annoying to me when Ethan texted me because I was just like, and I explained this to Michelle, who was at the gym with us, and I'm like, glad she was there with us because she was a second set of ears and eyes and a second opinion and like was a second voice to just be like, no, but your guys' policies aren't tracking. But I said it to her like instantly. She was like, are you okay? What do you need? And that's why like she's one of my favorite people because I can support Ethan all day. But I think it's really cool that Michelle's default is always just like, but what do you need in order to handle this situation? And I said to her, I was like, it's actually the fallout that's the hardest part for me. Like, yes, this is a thing and it shouldn't be a thing and that's annoying. But like, we are both aware of what is happening and what it is. And that racism is alive and well. It's actually the fallout that is like so hard for me because I'm just like, and it's not even me having to deal with it. It's just like you not being able to regulate in a space where you should be able to regulate and take care of yourself. And like now another space has been deemed unsafe for your brain. And that's the hardest part for me. Like, and I say this with partners all the time is like, I need people to stop proving you right.
That's like, I love you very much. And I will always stand this in behind your back and in closed rooms with people. Like the thing I stand on at coffee dates in every place is the way that this woman stands for me. And really gets it. Cause like the moment I saw that bitch walk in the room, I knew they were coming to harass me. If you go to my Instagram, if you go to my fucking page right now, you will see these shirts in that building on repeat. On repeat. I knew they were coming to harass me, and the only thing I wanted to do was hit her with the barbell that was on my back. because I'm exhausted. I have been black for 35 and a half years. And before I knew I was black, I have been dealing with shit like this. I'm exhausted that this scares everybody. Makes people so fucking uncomfortable they have to watch me when I'm in my place of zen, just existing, not fucking hurting nobody. But you paint me as a monster. I want to be the thing.
Most of the things I know about the way the world works and the problems of the world are because I've spent a fair amount of time existing around not my circle of white people. And the only way you learn, like, it's not that you live under a rock, it's that, like, the only way you learn about people's experiences is existing around people that had different experiences than you. It's why Sherwood Park is so fucked up, because everybody just exists in their little bubble where we all have the same experiences, and then we think there's like no wrong in the world because it doesn't happen directly in front of our eyes. Where if you like left the bubble of Sherwood Park and hung out with somebody who's like not middle to upper class wealthy with family support and a skin tone people like, you would learn that that's not actually how the rest of the world operates. I did most of my learning the quickest when I was dating a guy who was Latino, who lived on the north side. It also ended me in a lot of therapy, but I did a lot of learning very quickly about how the world actually exists. And then since then have spent a lot of time around not white people. And you only learn about people's experiences if you go hang out with people that had different experiences than you.
Yeah. On a lighter note, Joy. Do you want to go
I
first?
drive a Subaru. Woo-hoo.
I don't think you were done making noise when you went to drink that. Holy fuck.
It was like deeply annoying and frustrating, and man,
Oh
car
my
salesman. But I look out the driveway and I go, wow, who drives that cool car? No, the badges take like 6 to 8 weeks. I'm gonna forget I ordered them, and then they're just gonna show up one day.
Just you? Right.
Yeah, I look out the window and I'm like, look at that cool car. And it's probably a little bit obnoxious of me, but I don't care. And yeah, I'm like settling on the fact that I like really like it, and it feels cool and it drives well. And I'm glad I got very stressed out during all of the car buying process and had many moments of what the fuck am I doing? But at the end of the day, I'm like glad that we stuck to what we wanted. And I'm like very grateful that I had Ethan to remind me of what I wanted. To just be like, no, but like, that's not the car you want. Or like, you don't want that big of a car payment. Like, it was really nice to have somebody who knew what I wanted from day one so that I didn't go the wrong direction, I guess. Because there was a couple of moments where I was like, oh, well, I'll just do this. And then I would always come back to like, but that's not actually what I want. And Ethan would be like, yeah, I know. And it was really cool to hear from the finance department. Like the finance guy was like, whoa, you got like a really good deal on this car. So that was cool. And then it was cool to hear from the sales guy being like, you got a wicked deal on your extended warranty. And then one of my friends that works in insurance was like, oh, so you paid this much for the car? And I was like, no, I got this trade in with this much of a car payment left. And she was like, what the fuck? How did you do that? So that was just like really cool to come out the other side of that whole journey with multiple people recognizing that like I did good. And it feels cool that like, yeah, I have a little bit of a car payment, which was not my original intent, but it feels really nice to have a car that I want and I trust and I like. And also feels cool to have people be like, yeah, you killed that. Like you probably couldn't have gotten a better, like we're talking like maybe I could have swung like $500 more somewhere. But in the car buying world, I think that's world. Yeah. Like, there's always the, like, well, I could have done this little bit more, but, yeah, they wouldn't have sold me the car if they couldn't afford to sell it for that price. And also, I don't really give a fuck if they couldn't afford to sell it for that price. They did, and I'm happy with what I got.
Yeah, my joy is I got to model for fun, and being I said I got upgraded to book talk boyfriend because I was picked for a particular role, but I got a message after I said that and said, no, you get book talk daddy. And I think that means that I'm going to be written into a series, which would be so much fucking fun. So that's always fun. And it's cool to play a different role, get to play with sharp stuff. And I look good doing it. You who?
My hands are cold.
Well, there's a blanket right there. No? Okay.
Because I'm drinking it.
Well, yeah, but if you put the blanket on, then it will matter less. But hey, what do I know?
You know lots of things. You're very smart.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Thanks for letting us kick off the live. Thanks for joining us on the live. Thanks for letting them join us. I quite like that. I like being able to interact with a couple of people before jumping into our topic. But we've got a couple of questions come in on the live today that we want to answer, and we're gonna. Love?
Guys, my hands are frozen. They're going to fall off. I feel like Elsa right now. How did she function?
She wore gloves.
And that kept her hands warm, or were her hands just cold underneath the gloves?
She wouldn't notice the cold because she loves the cold. That's her whole thing.
Right. The cold doesn't bother me anyway.
I hate you for that. Sometimes I get to answer you just like in matter of fact, but I realize like everyone else is gonna be like, "You're a dick."
Yeah, she literally.
And then you come back to me being like, "No, you're right. That was on me."
She literally says the
cold doesn't bother me as
much.
much.
Her hands cold.
Holy shit.
Guys, can I tell you an embarrassing story? Well, we were talking about this on the live briefly of how you only learn of other experiences if you exist around people who had other experiences. And I grew up in Sherwood Park. And the first time I hung out on the north side in the winter, there was these girls wearing dresses outside and they had no coats on. And I expressed to my boyfriend at the time how I was really concerned that they were cold. And I was like, do you think they're cold? And he was like, I don't think they're worried about being cold. I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, I just don't think they're worried about being cold, Jill. And I was like, but why wouldn't they be worried about being cold? It's like -30 outside. They don't have coats on. And it took him a minute to realize. And then he looked at me and he was like, oh, you don't know that those are prostitutes, sex workers, but like he would have used incorrect terminology. And I literally in that moment was like, like I was so concerned that these girls were just like walking up and down this street with no coats on. And I was like, are they waiting for a car? Like, why do they not have coats on?
Yes, they are waiting for a car, Jill.
I was so worried about them. And
they are, in fact, waiting for a car. You are right.
And that's why you should leave your little bubble in your hometown.
Holy shit.
I was really worried about them.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I think they're fine. Well, they were, okay, sex workers or not, they were probably fucking cold.
Yeah. They're also probably high enough that the cold didn't bother them anyways.
You're cold, whether this is for work or not.
They're high enough so that the whole night doesn't bother them anyways. I'll say that.
I was really worried about them.
Yeah.
Question part 1. Do you believe in veto power?
No.
Question part 2. How do you express your concerns to your partner?
With veto power.
I don't believe in veto power unless I need to believe in veto power.
No. Okay, so 2 questions there and we will actually answer them both. Do you believe in veto power? No, I believe in having open dialogue conversations where 2 or more grown adults gets to voice their opinions and feelings about situations and then move amicably through it together as a unit. Jill and I have spoken many times before that the responsibility of rifts is always between the hinge and the cause of the rift, the person that connects the 2 people. So let's answer this from the standpoint of Jill and I are together, and someone else, I start seeing someone else. Jill and this someone else have an interaction while I'm upstairs in the shower that leads Jill to say, I'm going to take the rest of the night away from you two, and we'll talk about this later. Jill brings me the issue. And my job is not to take sides, but my job is to bring it then to my partner and have a adult conversation over there about what happened and what boundaries are crossed and what needs to happen moving forward to repair said thing and, again, move forward amicably. It doesn't mean that Jill says, you do this or else. It doesn't mean that she crosses boundaries so she's gone. It doesn't mean that I veto you using the vehicle to go see her. It's never this thing that Jill can control or dictate how I operate and navigate this relationship. It is my job to navigate this space in ways that continue to move every version of this relationship forward in a healthy way if it can be. If not, then it is also my job and relationship and responsibility to cancel, end, cut free, cut loose, or simply just take one step back from that connection. We call it de-escalating in this life, in non-monogamy, because it's not everything has to just cut, dry, and die, stomp out, smash, kill, hate. Lots of the times, most of us mature enough people with enough therapy and genuine inner work can look at a person and go, oh yeah, no, that just didn't work. I do actually still like you. We aren't meant to be that close, and that's fine. So no veto power, grown-up adult conversations for the betterment of all of the versions of relationships that exist in one time. What? What? Why are you laughing?
Because you just strung together so many words. And then what?
That's a word.
Yeah, I think this is like, do I believe in veto power? No. Do I think for a while that I thought I couldn't express concerns or discomfort with Ethan's relationships? Yes.
Also, yes.
And I think my brain grouped those together of like, I don't get to say he can't have a connection, which means I don't get to like express concern over connection either. And
That's such a fair point.
I very much lived in a headspace of like, it's his relationship, it's his business. I don't get a say. So I would say for me, that has shifted in the sense of like, I'm not walking around being like, get rid of him, don't like him, goodbye. But I am more comfortable being like, hey, here's what I'm seeing on my side and here's what I'm feeling on my side. And like, what can we do to kind of make sure everybody is comfortable in this situation. And that's been really helpful because it caused not a lot feels like the wrong, but it caused some like strain in me and Ethan's relationship when like I would be uncomfortable with a connection or with a person, but I wouldn't say it because I felt like it wasn't my place to say it. Like I very much felt, and this could also be a people pleaser thing, but I very much thought like if I'm uncomfortable, that's a me thing. I have to suck it up. I have to deal with it. I have to just like exist over here in discomfort and like it's not my relationship, it's not my place, whatever. Where that's not necessarily true or fair to anybody, because it's my space and my house and my being and our relationship, and Ethan is one of my people, and like there's a lot of safety in being able to be like, hey, this is a thing.
Yeah, and like to further your point, like when that would happen, like she's not a good liar with her words. She's really not a good liar with her energy. So then I'm sitting there being like, something's up with the person that lives in this house as my anchor partner, but she's not telling me. She's not saying things. And it would finally be like, I need you to say a thing. What's going on? Because like, you're saying no, but you're saying yes. And it wasn't a lot, but it was enough times that it was eventually, finally, she said the thing out loud that she did feel this way about the thing, and there was another conversation now. But it was like even if she wanted to try to hide it and deal with it over here, like her energy doesn't lie. Something's agitating her. If you know your person, something's up.
Yeah, and it's never veto power in the sense of like I'm not comfortable with that person or that. For me, it's almost always an energy thing, and that's really hard. It was really hard for me for a long time to explain that because I was like, I don't know why I don't like them. Like, there's no objective reason of like, I don't like this person because of this. Like, there was no like thing I could pinpoint. So that was also like twofold of why I was like, oh, I can't say anything because I don't know what it is. Because to anybody else in my life before Ethan being like, I don't know, my stomach feels funny when they come in the house, they would have been like, fuck is wrong with you? Um, but as I've leaned back into more of like the energy side of me, like that just means like my energy and their energy or their energy in my space is not landing well. Um, we joke to somebody on live all the time that she probably has ghosts in her house, but if she hasn't had like anything happen, she's fine because energy disturbs energy. And that's true between people too. I just think a lot of us are like trained out of paying attention to that. So it was really hard for me to be like, I don't know, something's not right and I don't know what it is. But saying it out loud also meant that we could be like, okay, so what does that look like? Like, if this is a connection you want to explore, like, can we set some expectations and boundaries around like length of time they'll be in our house? Or is this something you can explore in their space? Or is this something that can be planned for? So, like, if I want to be out of the house, I can plan for it. Like, it's never expressing concern in the sense of I don't like them and you can't see them. It's just like, hey, something's not right here. How can we kind of make this work for everybody? And at the end of the day, like, it's Ethan's decision to be like, hear my concerns. And if he hears my concerns and is like, oh, you're right, I'm good on this connection, that's his choice. But it's not me being like, I feel funny, so you need to end that connection.
Yeah, almost unequivocally, it's been later that the connection that's disturbed Jill's energy ends. I don't think it's ever happened where I was like, yeah, okay, they're gone. I don't think so. I don't think everything's been serious enough. Outside of just like navigating the first couple of you don't like them, but why? Because like to Jill's point, like she would want to have a why as much as I. Because like, why do you want to go to your person with it? You don't like the person that they like without a why, because then you're disturbing their peace. But like as Jill said, eventually it was just about Jill being disturbed, and that not like in a bad way, just like there's something off, and you don't have to like everybody. That was one thing I always kept reminding her from the start. But you don't actually have to like everybody. I don't expect you to like everybody. I don't even know if I actually like them. That's kind of how I'm seeing them and dating them and being in their space model, but to make sure I actually kind of like, how we did, sort of.
Yeah, and I think I've gotten like in the last 6 months or so, I've gotten a little bit quicker about giving you a why. And I know I don't always need to, but
Yeah.
I said it in passing about somebody the other day. And I've had to be quicker about just being like, yeah, I don't really like them. Cause like, it's not, I don't think it's fair to Ethan. Like, I'm allowed to not like people, but it's not fair to you to not tell you that. Cause then you're like bringing people into our space without the knowledge that like, I don't really like them. You're like bringing people in being like, there's no issues here, they can exist, whatever. So I also don't think if it's fair to your partner or yourself to just be like, I'm not going to say anything because it's not my relationship. Because now, like Ethan said, he's having to navigate like, wait, why is my partner weird? Well, this person's in their space. I didn't know that she was uncomfortable with them. And then sometimes there's like a reason that pops up in my brain and I will just say it out loud. I don't have to be right. But if I bring it to Ethan of being like, something's off and I think this is why, at least it's on his radar to be like, is this person's intent?
Mm.
Do you have something to say on that?
No.
Okay. Yeah. And like, I think the biggest thing I've had to be fine with is like, I'm allowed to be wrong. Like, I can be like, I don't really like this person and like, I feel like this is maybe why. And then Ethan can be like, yeah, but X, Y, and Z have proof that that's not true. And that's also allowed. Yeah, I think expressing your concerns is always better to do early. I think it's harder on all ends to express concerns. Like if you've had concerns from day one, it's gonna.
Don't say that shit when you bring it up. 6 months from
Yeah,
now.
it's going to be really hard to be like, oh, you've been with your partner for a year? Yeah, well, from day one, I had this issue.
Yeah. And like, and because like it just, it never, at least from in our life, that would never land well. Like, wait, you agreed to go into this life with me where we share openly, especially the topics that could put the other person in a weird space or a weird place or this, that, and then you held on to that for a year. I'm not even upset with what you're upset with. Now I'm upset with you. That, because you just, hold on. And like most of the time, like I can't envision anything like this being like a little thing. So like in my brain, I'm like, yeah, like right away, I'm like, I know for a fact in my heart of hearts, like, you sat on that, on a feeling that wouldn't have changed my direction, but at the first hint of this thing that just happened, I would have known at least that it's a track record already. I don't need to go through this thing after a year. Now I found out my own track record,
Well, and I think for a lot of us, like you always say that like tism trauma, it's harder for you to like catch the vibe from people sometimes, or like you've said that you trust me to like catch things you might have missed.
I trust the people around me to see the shit in people that I don't see.
But if you don't say it out loud, then how is your person supposed to know? And I also think like
any of your people, like,
autism trauma aside, we all get rose-colored lenses when we're like excited about a person or a connection or a friend or whatever, and we're more likely to like let things slide because we're just like, but the potential of this connection or whatever. So sometimes it's nice to have a person being like, okay, but are you noticing these things? Because if you are and you're fine with them, great. If you're not, now you're aware of them.
Yeah, as much as I take things like that with a grain of salt, I still log the information away because it is important. The whole point of navigating this life alone, like I have, without being understood, having people around me and all the shit, to now have that, the whole purpose of building your circle of friends is so that they keep you safe. They love on you, sharing experiences in life, and you guys all make it through this thing as safe and unfucked up as you can be. You take things that your friends say into consideration. Some of you really don't when it comes to relationships. When it comes to the other, when it comes to the one. But that aside, like, you still listen to your friends because you picked them. You trust that they have your back. You trust that they suss out a situation and aren't trying to steer you wrong or do you dirty because in the past they haven't. So why would they not? You hear what I'm saying? Like we all actually understand this concept quite well. What they say doesn't have to be law. You still get to make the decision at the end of the day. But it's good to have information from different perspective and different eyes. Jill and I do not see the world the same way. In most things, we see it beautifully the same way where it really fucking counts. But her perspective always matters to me because I don't know everything. I don't have a perspective of a little white girl. So, useful.
Different perspectives are helpful to see or notice things that you might not. I'm also a girl, and Ethan's dated females many times in his life, but I am one. So there's also that like advantage of like girls know girls. And that can be like a really settling thing or not. Some girls are really not it. And that's a general statement, not like people Ethan dated. I'm just
men
saying,
just
like,
aren't it. Period. That's different.
Some girls are really not
that's
it.
a different problem. We're addressing the current one.
And yeah, that's not like a Ethan picks. It's just, some girls are not it, and I'm a girl, so I can suss that out.
You're a girl who also dates girls, and that's still valid.
Is it hard to not insert your opinion on the other's disagreements? So in the sense of like, if you and a partner were arguing, like, or if me and my partner were arguing and I brought it to you.
Yes and no. I'm fully I can't turn off the opinion machine, the justice machine, the right from wrong machine, the whatever machine. But I can shut the fuck up. So like, it's sometimes I'm like, this one's dumb in the face, And I don't think it happens really. It's not like this that this is just in general as a person. Um, but like really, it's not my fucking problem.
I also ask your opinion on a lot of things. Like
Yeah, like
sometimes I'll come to you being like, "Am I insane or is this like a thing that's happening right now?" Because sometimes you need an opinion that's like one step removed to just be like,
A plus B equals C. You did the math right on
yeah.
that. Like
Or like, no, I think you're reading into that. Like sometimes it's that simple to be like,
yet
no, no.
never. I never get context. I never get names in this situation. It's just that I need you to hear these words in a row and tell me how that lands for you, and then I'm gonna tell you why I brought it to you. And so I say that reads kind of uncomfortably petty for some reason. Okay, good, because that's I just didn't want to jump to conclusions because it just like there was no comma. So like we had the punctuation if there is a comma, like, but it didn't. It's not reading that way. Like it's that my perspective and my perspective is just different.
And I also think like a simple thing you can do is be like, do you want advice or do you just want me to listen? And then like you need to take people for what they say. Like I come to Ethan sometimes and be like, I don't want you to solve this problem. I just need you to hear it. And like then you need to remove your own wants from that and do what the person asked you to do. If it was like a matter of
Safety.
yeah, Ethan's safety or anybody's well-being, like that's the only time I would insert opinion without really being asked. Like if he said something to me and I was just like, hey, but yeah, that like impacts X, Y, and Z, and like I need you to know that. Um, that's also allowed. You're also allowed to express your opinion if you think it impacts your safety or well-being. Like there's moments
Yeah.
where it needs to be said whether you ask for it or not, and there's other things like normal relational disagreements where it's like, you want my opinion or do you want me to just hear what's happening?
And I think that one's one of the most important questions you can ask anybody at any point if they're bringing stuff to you or if you happen to hear it. Because a lot of times in these situations, especially, you're going to go back to the only person that wasn't in the room. Sometimes, and lots of the time, let's say unhealed as we are as humans, it's to get the person on your side. Um, that's when it gets tough because you have to in that moment you do really have to remain neutral, even though you heard everything. It's not your job to fix it. Your job is to be the party in between that says y'all fix it.
Yeah, I can even think like if you and a partner were arguing like in our space and I overheard it, like it's still not my fucking business until it gets brought to me. Like I'm not gonna,
which would kill Jill.
I'm not gonna walk downstairs and be like, actually, here's my opinion. Sit down. I have an opinion.
She's up there taking notes and shit. Just being like, I'm waiting for my motherfucking moment.
Ethan comes being like, did you? Yeah, I got it. I actually here.
But it's like and a lot of times it's equally beneficial to have the third person there because it's not always what everybody remembers. Emotions run high, and that's why the third party is an interesting place to be in any standpoint, but especially when you love both people on either side of this thing.
Like as cliche as it is, where it's like there's actually three sides to every story, like there's what I thought happened, what Ethan thought happened, and what actually happened, and those don't always line up together.
Yeah, and this life, like anything else, we always try to like make it make sense for monogamous people that watch this. Like, you have friends. Okay, your friends are simply our people that we would consider poly cool people. Like, they're just close people that we love and care and want to see do well in life. And sometimes we hug for extended periods of time. Like, we're not that different.
Even like if you have multiple children, like how often do you get your one kid being like, "This is what happened," and your other kid is like, "This is what happened," and then you're standing there being like, "Neither of you are fucking right." Like,
yeah, and like, but you also, like, even though you're right, like, your job is to not make that right. They're the ones that cause the rift. You know, like, you know what I mean? Your job is to be like, well, what I heard went a little different, but I'm going to stand right here and let you two hash this out. And I'm going to bop each one of you on the head when you lie. How about that? Like, whatever the fuck. Your job isn't actually to solve the problem. Your job is to hold space for those two numbskulls to fucking solve the problem. Similarly, in polyamory, similarly with your best friends, similarly when Tina doesn't like Betty because she bought the same dress and the same color, you know, your job is to be like, bitch, your favorite color is blue anyway. But now hug it out because you both look great. Stupid. Like, So yeah, to answer the question, it can be very hard, but at the same time, the responsibility is to remain impartial, even if you're brought into the thing. The job is to hold space for the rift to be fixed by the people who caused it.
This one you're cutting in, or do you want me to ask it?
Just fucking ask it. I don't care.
Is it hard to stay neutral if two partners are disagreeing?
Yes and no again. And they, we did answer this on the live, but I'm going to answer it here because it's worth saying again because you guys are here. I can think of one specific instance in our triad that this came up. It's come up many times. This was like a very specific and important one, where both of my partners in this triad decided to disagree on a very important thing, which was a boundary, and it lasted days, into a time that it shouldn't have fucking been. So I stayed real neutral until it affected me as a, not even as a person, as someone that loves them both, and it affected me because now it's chewing into my ability to be around you both, even, and I won't be around one of you separately because then that's taking sides. So now that it's affecting me, I'm going to say that out loud. This is where I take sides, but I didn't take sides on theirs. I took sides on me and the three of us. And I said, y'all are pissing me off because this is immature shit that's happening right now with you not talking to each other and in effect putting me in the middle to be the mediator. And I don't want to do that. That's why I've been saying it a ton. But now you're running into a time that everybody here is supposed to be enjoying really cool fellowship and time away in the mountains and doing this shit with our people. So figure it the fuck out, like now or yesterday. Please and thank you. I love you both. I'm going back to play ping pong now because I'm over it. With love. Deuces. And I went back and whooped the shit out of Brian for a few hours.
Yeah, we were at a little bit of an old-fashioned standoff. I was the one who was hurt, so I said, fuck you, I'm not moving first. You can bring it to me that you're aware of what you did wrong. And our partner was aware that something was wrong, but what hadn't quite caught up to what it specifically was, and then also defaulted to like, well, I knew you were mad at me, so I didn't want to make you talk to me. Well, you not talking to me made you think you didn't give a shit that there was a problem here. So it was just like both of us had our reasons, but it wasn't the mature or adult way to deal with it. And yeah, Ethan was in his right to just be like, okay, now you two are impacting my ability to enjoy my life. So like
directly.
Talk about it.
We traveled together with a bunch of people, and it was like, not like this was like an outward holy shit thing. This was just very quiet. And like I gave them in my brain until we got to where we were going to figure it the fuck out before Daddy said a word out loud.
And it wasn't like me and her were like actively ripping each other's heads off.
No, it wasn't like this.
We just were like, I usually slept in the middle, and I was like, I'm not fucking sleeping in the middle. Like I was like, I'm not sleeping in the middle. I'm sitting over there on the couch. So it wasn't like an outward, we were like at each other's throats. It was just like
very passive aggressive.
You stay over there, I'll stay over here.
Mm-hmm.
And just nothing was getting done. And then the longer nothing got done on her, like the longer she didn't say something, the more upset I got because I was just like, wow, you really don't give a shit, hey? And then the longer I was keeping my distance, she was like,
I want you to know that like 3 days of that is actually an eternity for someone with autism because the people that he communicates with best aren't communicating. So now I don't get to communicate with anybody.
It was just really quiet.
It was like a really fucking terrible time for Ethan, but I sat on it well because I'm a big boy.
Well, and Ethan like is who he is. Like the tiff happened in play, and Ethan handled it the best he could. Like he gave me space, and then he accommodated what I needed because I was like, I'm not sleeping in the bed, and he was like, I'll sleep in the middle, you sleep on this side. Like he accommodated as much as he could to like cushion the initial harm. And then after that, it was just a standoff of I'm not jumping first. So, yeah, I think it's like not necessarily hard to stay neutral, but I think it's harder to not like fix it. Like from my side of things,
I
like
will give you that.
if like you and her were like disagreeing over something, or I knew there was like some tension, like it was hard to not just be like, okay, let's fix it together then. Like that was, I just wanted to like solve the problem. And I think even when I can think about like the other time it happened also around intimacy, you were kind of like, yeah, you two need to sort that out. And then it was more of a conversation. This was a different person, not that that really matters, but it was like a, yeah, you sort it out. And then it was more coming to you being like, I can't fucking figure it out. So now it's all of our issue because I can't fix it.
Yeah, like it really is it's hard to not fix it because like I heard both sides. I was there when the boundaries were set. Like, not that I'm keeping track, but it is kind of my fucking job. And it's not my job to play judge, jury, or executioner in any of those settings. I just want everybody to move forward together. And for that to happen, I don't get to fix it. And like and if you take anything from this whole fucking episode, if you are polyamorous, if you are monogamous, if you are non-monogamous, if you're anything between on the spectrum, whatever the fuck you love and how you love, oh my god, if you're in the middle of a rift, your actual job is to hold the space for them to fix it, or it will never, and I mean this unequivocally 100% of the time, never be fixed. It will cause shit to end or blow up somewhere down the line, guaranteed. Every single time. I've ended so many relationships knowing this to be true. I should have said this thing. I should have brought this up. I should have actually said my piece and stood up and defended myself. I shouldn't have let that go on the way I did. And then and I can look back and be like, I should have fucking over there. When I knew. When I heard, when I listened, when all the things. Whatever.
That was a good sound effect.
Thanks. Took me a second. Yeah, it's always, it's human nature. You want to solve fixers, people pleasers, even to the other side of the negative and control freaks, narcissists. Like everybody fights the ability to throw their opinion into shit, to pick a side, to whatever. Your opinions in someone else's fight actually don't matter. Even if someone goes, no, you need to tell me what you heard because I actually don't. You're right. I did hear everything that just transpired, but the rift is actually there. The fight, the disagreement, the feud is over there. I'm happy to sit here and listen so more feelings and emotions don't get in the way. But what I heard actually doesn't matter. What matters is how you two move forward from it.
A mediator.
Not even that. Like, I don't like that word because a mediator is supposed to be impartial, but they rarely are. My job isn't to mediate and dictate conversation. I'm not fucking there to hold your hands like babies and go, what she said is what he said. No, you fucking grown-ups. You talk. If you say something crazy, I'm going to hit both of you. How about that?
And I think, that's like, I think the definition of mediation versus what I actually picture are probably two different things. Like, I think of having like a third neutral party as like
I'm gonna just get pool noodles and sit in the middle. They're both gonna be green. It's not right or wrong. It's talking crazy to someone you love in front of me. When you just went, what? It felt good. Didn't know. You should wipe the smile off your face. I'm gonna do it to you next. It'd be crazy. Sorry, what were you saying? See, this is easier, right? Take a breath if you have to. In through the nose, out your mouth. Breathe with you too. Maybe I should start a different service. Couples therapy my way.
Well, that was nice.
Thanks for joining us today. Thank you for your questions in the live. For those of you that will see this, appreciate you always.
You can find the podcast at Shifting Lens Podcast on all platforms. You can find me at CoachJill.April.
Fight me on this, Sir Lifts.
Catch you next time.